Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my high Capa videos. This pistol, this is my Skirmish pistol, has just come back from its recent outing at Halo Mill, the indoor CQB site. An amazing day that I had there. I ran on gas pistols for half of the day and it performed really well. I did reinvigorate my sense of why I don't really like running gas pistols. That was because on the first shot, the shot went beautiful. Second shot dropped off a bit. Third shot, it barely left the end of the barrel. Massive cooldown. Wasn't a hot day, and I am running aluminium mags, so they do cool down a bit faster than normal. But anyway, this is my Skirmish pistol. It is a new frame, so it's a relatively new build. And it's also had some new grip screws in there as well. These are the AIP aluminium grip screws. I just like them. They're a bit darker than the standard ones. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this stand out a little bit more. So the eagle-eyed of you will see that I am missing my rear sight and I am missing my front sight. So we've got to replace those during the course of this video. And I've also got to take off this thread adapter because I'm not going to be running an extended barrel or thread or tracer or silencer or unicorn fart machine thing at all. It's just going to be the beat it up pistol. So let's get going. We're going to crack this baby open. So my AIP grip screws, they arrived in the mail with something else which was rather nice. You'll see there's a fair bit of oil all dashed around this as well. There's a few marks on the frame now. It's almost as if I've been doing some kind of fitment. So it's almost like I was expecting a new shiny part. So I'm going to pop that off to one side. And then I'm going to start pulling this apart. Excuse me, this bit's always the bit that never goes well on camera. Pull it out there. I can never do it in one. I have to get it halfway and then pull it out the rest of the way. Whoop! There we go. So, recoil setup and the rest of it. Now what I am going to do, I'm just going to lean across this way. And I have just pulled out my trusty parts box, as I have a feeling I may need some extra parts for this build. So apologies for loud noises there. So let's carry on. Let's move this outer barrel and hop set out. I was quite happy with that. They performed really well. Nice straight flat shots. And the blowback housing is a blowback housing. It worked. Really happy with it, to be fair. The action on the pistol is beautiful, as you'd expect for a plastic slide build, and it is pretty much a brand new plastic slide build as well. So the question you're probably asking is, Steve-O, why are you taking it apart already? Especially if you've been running it on green gas, because it's absolutely fine. Well, there is an answer hiding. There we go. BBU's out. This is out. Slide is off. Now that's a brand new slide. It's been used once. I'm going to pop it to one side. Here's its replacement. I went with a Costa VIP. It's actually marked up Costa Ludus up the side of it, which I don't really care about too much. Really odd but nice looking slide. It's an STI style licensed one. I just like the look of this thing. It came up for reasonable pricing, so this being my Skirmish pistol, I want it to last. I don't want it to let me down. So TM Magic, it doesn't let you down. However, and I will caveat that, however, plastic slides can go kapop. I want to run this all year round, so I'm going to run green gas in it. I am going to run in the summer with it, and I don't want it to split that thing apart. So I thought, why not? Let's go for one of these Costa VIPs. They don't come around very often, and I want one, and I want it to be my long-term Skirmish build. So here we go. You can see it's already got the front sight on there. That's the AIP front sight. It's taken a little bit of adjustment to get in there, fired a little bit off it, but it's tapped in pretty well. And that's pretty much centre, and that green fibre is just lit under the lighting which I've got here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start working backwards. Now what I can't do with this build is I can't just drop the rear fibre in because it's such a tight fit. Now what I've stupidly done is I've filed off the underside of here, and then I've not clothed it off before I've come to show you my amazing build. So I'm going to quickly see if I can find a cloth to do that with whilst it's in my fingers and thumbs. There we go, got one. You'd think I'd be a lot more prepared for these videos now. Never am. You can always get as many tools and gubbins as you like, and you will never ever be ready for the moment you hit record on that video. So that's a brand new AIP rear sight. That's from my boy Kyle at Capa Hub. I'm going to slide that into there. So yeah, the lines match up reasonably well. Not a terrible fit, and as I can say, you can see there, I've dremeled away the bottom underside of this because it has a little noggin, because this doesn't have a noggin. So it needs dremeling away just so that will sit there quite nicely. Now this is a new setup at the back here. This is a DP lightweight blowback housing. Really like this blowback housing. It's the only blowback housing I run at the moment with an O-ring, excluding the 3D printed build, but it's something different. I'm a bugger for having everything the same, but I do feel that I want this to be slightly different, something slightly different in every pistol which I own. So that looks to be okay in there. I'm going to drop this BBU screw into there, and I'm going to try and make it so that my hands don't block it. So I'm going to just nip that up there. You can see the underside of that. There's a little bit of silver showing. I really couldn't give a monkeys about that too much. Just nip it there. And what I'm going to do is just test that nozzle, which works nicely. And then we're going to get the screw to lock that in. Now, it was suggested to me the other day that what I've been doing wrong with this for a while is I've been putting this screw in first, getting it tight, then doing that, pulling it in. It is a game of kind of tension between these two, but what I do find helps massively is just a touch of thread lock. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just half crank that off. So that's just a touch loose, and that will just give it a little bit of movement so that I can get this screw seated home correctly. And the way I normally do this is I'll open my thread lock, hope to God that that the screw doesn't drop off. You really do have to pray to the Airsoft gods when you do this. See how the screw came loose there? I have built one of these before, and the screw has just gone bye-byes into the pot of thread lock. I was not in a good mood the day that happened. There we go. I did retrieve the screw, and the screw is currently in use, I believe, in my 3D build. Fun story for you. Now, at the moment you can see that screw's just not quite sitting right, and that's because there's nothing pushing up from the BBU. There we go. So it just needed a little nudge from underneath on that BBU. So for the person who told me to just give it a nudge, you were right, asshole. And that person who told me to give it a nudge was Kyle from Capa Hub. I love you, mate. Right. Tight at the back. And I'm very cautious of tightening this one up too much, because you can really thread these if you aren't careful. And that to me, yeah, there we go. We're in. There we go. Make sure the nozzle still moves. Nothing over tight in there. Cool. So, next step, let's get rid of that, because this is a skirmish pistol now, and like I say, we're not going to be running anything too nasty in it. That's out, and into my spares box. The outer barrel is a printed barrel from Make It 3D. And we're running the TM hop unit, an old school Decepticon rubber, PDI barrel, normal maple leaf eye key, maple leaf wheel, PDI in a barrel, maple leaf hop up arm there. So kind of my go-to combination, if you like. One day I will buy one of the really fancy Airsoft Masterpiece brass hop ups, but that's not going to be today. So that's in there. That looks pretty decent in there. Yeah, not bad. Going to keep this setup, AIP, 120 spring. That's an Airsoft Masterpiece plug thing. Airsoft Masterpiece guide rod, but I am going to swap out these two. And I'm going to swap those for a couple of blue ones. So we're going to drop that on there. Stick the blue on. Boop. Stick that on there. Stick the blue on. Stick that on there. And the reason I'm going for a slightly harder recoil is because it is going to run on gas. I don't expect it to kick back as consistently or as nicely as what HPA will do. So I'm going to pop that together now. Stick you in there. And you can see I've got the AIP front sight on there as well. That's all popped together. That actually looks pretty nice. And then I'm just going to slide that back together now. Now, like I say, I have done a little bit of fitment on this frame just so that when I come to doing a video, it all sits together nicely. I have a very patient wife and she allows me to sit and kind of play with my frame of an evening. I don't think it's quite the frame the wife wants me to play with, but hey ho. We're going to double oil here, there, just on those contact points. Just a touch of silicone oil there. And just slide it together. And then obviously, way, nearly had my finger. So that's gone back. Wow, that's gone back. That looks really good. That's quite top heavy as well. That's really nice. Pull that back. Getting a seal. Pop that forwards. Body pin in. Watching for the nozzle there. Yep. That's really quite nice. Let's be a little bit leery. Absolutely empty. Absolutely empty. And go. And there you have it. We have a built Costa STI VIP 4.3 high Capa thingy. I quite like it. I'm going to be skirmishing it this weekend. It's going to make its first outing. I will note I have already nicked the slide in a couple of places, so we're not going to have that really awkward first bop on it, and I'm going to cry because I've nicked my amazing frame slide thing. Anyway, thank you very much if you've tuned in and watched this. Thank you very much if you are a returning viewer. Thank you very much if you are a new viewer. Please do hit that like button. Please do leave me a comment. I love to talk about my high Capa builds and what goes into them. And absolutely gold standard, please do drop me a sub as I go on my YouTube journey. I am starting to line up and push up, and I want to really try and reach my first 1,000 subs now. So apologies for shamelessly plugging, but please do sub to me. So thank you very much, and I will see you in my next video.